Hello guys and welcome to an NGB video review and gameplay video. I am Ben and I'm joined by Jonny.
Hello to you.
Hello. I'm joined by Kieran.
Hello.
And I'm joined by Matthew.
Hi.
Hello. We're playing Agents of Mayhem, which is the new game from Volition, who are the folks behind Saints Row.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie, this is a weird game.
Why is it weird, Ben?
Well, it's, as you can probably see, one of the main colour schemes and sort of themes in the game is like the purple, kind of dark purple colour and like the fleur and all sorts of things like that.
Sure.
That you would expect from Saints Row.
Sure.
Also, the character that I'm playing at the moment is Jonny Gat, who is also from Saints Row. I'm completely avoiding the way to turn around the roads.
Is it deliberate that his surname is Gat, which is an anagram of GTA?
I don't know. You'd probably have to ask the people at Volition that.
Okay.
I mean, that's obviously been, Jonny Gat has been part of the Saints Row franchise for quite a while.
Sure.
You just thought of that, Jonny, or was that like...
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay, I was wondering if you'd been thinking it a while.
So, I mean, this is essentially the core of Agents of Mayhem. You play in a team of, like a squad of 3, and switch between them. You hit left and right on the D-pad, like so. And you basically get a bunch of people in your squad, get different abilities.
Yeah.
And I actually really liked the core sort of gameplay loop of it once it got going. Like probably the first half an hour or so, first hour or so was a little bit kind of go here, press triangle, fight people, go here, press triangle, fight people.
Yeah.
But once it got going, it's actually a lot of fun.
Right.
I've actually just died.
So it opens out a little bit then.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not the most complex and like mechanically dense game you're ever going to play. I mean, it is essentially just like go here, shoot people. But when it clicks, it's actually a lot of fun.
Is it fairly open world, or do you have to follow the story as it goes?
Yeah, it's very much an open world game.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest with you, there are bits of the open world that I find a little bit frustrating. Like the kind of, I think we saw it a little bit earlier. I'm probably going to start this mission again because I've done really badly so far.
Oh,
The mechanic of calling in your vehicle, jumping in it, like you don't really open the doors of the vehicle, you just sort of morph into it.
Yeah.
And that happens with every vehicle that you get. But a lot of it is, it's almost like I don't really want to use it because it's a really bad pun because the game is actually set in Korea, but it's not really got a huge amount of soul.
Hey.
You see, I mean, the game is actually set in Seoul as well,
Yeah.
so it's just like, I don't know, it's almost like there's something missing. I'm a big fan of the Saints Row sense of humour. I really like it. I think one thing that I did really enjoy in Saints Row 4 was the fact that you basically started the game off as the President of the United States riding a missile that was heading towards the White House, and you had to defuse it in midair. Like, that's a whole lot of fun. And I don't really think there is a huge amount of that sense of humour in the game when there's quite a lot of scope for it. I mean, there are bits where you'll chuckle at stuff.
Yeah. See, on the contrary, that's a plus point for me because I never played Saints Row because of like what you just said about like you're a president riding a missile. It just sounds really like forced wacky. And I was like, it sounds painful.
Yeah, I mean,
there's less of that. I'm actually up for that.
Okay, I mean, that's the thing about Saints Row. Like they straddle the line between like funny and wacky very carefully. I'm like you. I hate kind of forced wackiness and kind of I'm crazy. But like Saints Row 4 in particular definitely kind of picked it up a lot, picked it up a notch.
Okay.
So Agents of Mayhem. It's very difficult to not draw comparisons with Saints Row for obvious reasons.
Well, it seems it, yeah.
The fact that you can actually play as Jonny Gat is just... I really don't know why this is... I don't want to say why it's a game, because that's really harsh, but like why they didn't just call this, like Agents of Mayhem and have nothing to do with Saints Row at all. Because at the point that we are in the game now, there isn't really any massive like direct correlation to it. It's just like there are some big similarities, and the first mission that you do is actually called Operation Spinoff. It's like, okay, it's kind of self-referential and quite knowing. But yeah, I kind of can't really see too much that's linked. I'm sort of expecting Shondi and the folks from the the Third Street Saints to show up at some point, but as of yet, no spoilers. They haven't done, so it's a somewhat confusing game.
Okay.
But the main mission structure in the game is essentially you kind of start off with your team. You go through one mission where you get another agent to join your squad, or to join the Agents of Mayhem. Then after you've gotten after you've got your new person, you then go and fight one of Dr. Babylon's minions, or his lieutenants, I should say. That's basically the gameplay loop. Is you'll do a mission. At the moment, we're doing one to recruit somebody. So once we've recruited them, we will probably end up having to fight another one of the lieutenants, or lieutenants, as we should say, because we're in the UK. So my squad at the moment consists of Oni in the middle there, Gat, and Jewel. Jewel is like a hacker. So as you'd expect, you've got different abilities for different agents. There's a lot of upgrades that you can do. There's a lot of stuff in this game.
The only thing that puts me off sometimes seems like you can upgrade this, you can upgrade that, and I got to get bored of thinking. Well,
I mean, there is a definite sense of kind of open world fatigue setting in. I don't know how many more open world games I can really stand at the moment, because as you say, everything is open world.
Yeah.
So you've got, in what would previously have been like a pretty good 10-hour game suddenly is a middling to good at best, like 80-hour game, and you just think
I do like some things like that, like some of the games, such things like Skyrim and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when games like this, I like it to be like, okay, let's actually stick it to more of a story-based thing. Okay, go here and go there, and just don't bother with so much of the open world thing.
Yeah. I mean, some of the storytelling in this is actually quite well done. So a lot of it's told through these kind of anime-style cutscenes. And this is one where it's introducing one of the new agents. And like I said earlier, different agents have got different skills, and they've got different reasons for joining Mayhem. And essentially you have to take down Legion, who are, as I say, controlled by Dr. Babylon. So, yeah, I quite like it. It's not... Again, it's not going to, be an incredibly groundbreaking game, but I really wish they'd sort of stayed away from the Saints Row.
Is it sort of like Blink-182's new album, in that like it made a lot more sense if it wasn't called Blink-182?
No, because that album's really good.
It's alright, it's overdo it. But like, It's better though if they hadn't have called themselves Blink-182 and called themselves something entirely different. And like, I feel like you're saying the same thing with this.
Kind of. I mean, it's a little bit different in the fact that if you want to carry on using that analogy,
I do.
Like with Blink-182, it's explicitly advertised as a Blink-182 album.
Yeah.
Whereas this is very much a case of, okay, right, this is a game that's not a Saints Row game, but is going to use a lot of the
assets.
Like a lot of the, not even the assets, just like a lot of the
purple.
Yes, purple. There you go.
Using a lot of the purple.
They had a lot of it already written, so they thought, oh, let's just put it in there to save us some time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a strange one. But I mean, I do like the variation in the characters. There's a lot of abilities that you can get. There's a lot of ways that you can play them off each other.
Why is she trying to run like she wants to have a fly somewhere?
It's because she's a ninja.
It looks like she's going to take off soon. She starts flapping.
So there you go. So
with the 3 people,
yep,
you have like a 3-person squad. Does
yep.
that mean there's co-op?
No, because you basically play one at a time, so you switch between them.
Do you not?
No, it would have been cool.
Yeah.
At least there's nothing that I've seen that would suggest it. I think it was, I played this at Gamescom last year. No, it was E3 last year actually, and I think I asked the question then, but they said at the moment no, it's very much a single player, kind of open world type thing.
There's a lot of blur going on, isn't there?
Yeah, it's to kind of fit in with the style. I think at the moment we're playing it on PS4 Pro.
Yep.
I have yet to play it fully on the standard PS4. But I will say there have been some quite significant frame rate issues.
Okay.
Even on the Pro, which is definitely something that I wasn't really expecting. But there have been moments where, particularly when you call in like the Mayhem abilities, which I'm going to do in a second when I find the... when I get some more enemies up.
You killed them all.
Yeah, I have. What a shame. Yeah, like sometimes the frame rate kind of goes a little bit to pot, but overall I think it looks alright. Graphically it's quite nice. I like the sort of semi-cel shaded nature of like the vehicles and
It's
stuff
got
like
a
that.
bit of a Crackdown vibe to it.
Yeah, so there we go, special ability blindside blades. So I can do that and like blindness, and then this is the Mayhem ability, which basically turns me invisible for a bit and allows me to do some cool stuff. So yeah, each obviously each agent has got their own Mayhem ability. You've got like, for example, Gats will make him stand completely still, but while he stood still, he automatically locks onto a bunch of enemies with his pistol, and then you just basically hit R2 until they all die. Oni will apply debuffs to enemies so that they will be a bit more like vulnerable, so they'll have like, you know, they'll be slowed down or they'll be afraid or anything like that. And it's quite good to mix and match the abilities with each other. So you'll get say like you'll get Oni who will kind of go in and just go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make everybody scared, and then while they're doing that you can switch back to Gat and then he'll just pick them all off. And there is an element of like being tactical in this as well.
Okay.
But for the most part, it is just kind of shoot stuff, shooty stab, with a bit of comedy. And I think overall, it does quite well with the balance.
Okay.
So yeah, any questions, guys?
Give me a score.
I'm going with 7.5.
All right.
It's
respectable.
It's a strong, you know, it's a strong idea. There are some technical issues. I've had a couple of bugs which have just been somewhat bizarre. Like I had one that essentially completely killed the game's progress for me. It was sorted by restarting the game, but it was just weird that it happened in the first place. Yeah, like I think it's got some really good ideas. I think it's got some decent combat. I think it's fun to play, but I just can't get over the fact that they've leaned so heavily on the Saints Row stuff without really having too explicit a link to the franchise.
Yeah. Just for a bit of a boost.
Yeah, it's an odd one, and I don't think it's done itself any favours.
Much like Blink 182.
Because Blink 182 are really good.
Oh yeah. And the analogy sticks though.
When's it out?
It's out next week, I believe.
Are we talking full price game here?
We are indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's again, it's all right. I think if you're a fan of the Saints Row style open world, then you will enjoy this. It's definitely got a lot to like about it, but like I said, there's just a few bits that I'm not too sure about. So that is going to do us for our Agents of Mayhem review. Please do check out the full written review on the site. I will have that up as soon as possible. Also, please do like, share, comment and subscribe on all of our videos, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.